Warning! The following video contains excessive zombie violence and gore, and even little bits of partial female nudity. If you are offended by such things, then don't watch this video. To be honest, why did you even click on the link in the first place, you bloody fool? Anyway, please move on. You have been warned.
It's that time of year again where the dead walk Leeds. Well, between the cinema and the pub at least. It's the 5th Leeds Zombie Film Festival. A gathering of zombie lovers, although not literally, that would be disgusting, in order to watch 6 gore-tastic zombie movies back to back in order to support the WSPA, the World Society for the Protection of Animals. And of course, it's all organised by Dominic, Brunt and Mark Charnock, otherwise known as Marlon and Paddy from Emmerdale. I am the Big Daddy D, and this is the 5th Leeds Zombie Film Festival. First on the list, Pontypool. From looking at the title, you will be forgiven for thinking, a Welsh zombie movie? That's something different. Turns out though that it's not actually Welsh, it's Canadian. But it still is something very different. I actually saw this on DVD in Poundland a few months ago when I was doing my Halloween Poundland special, and I immediately regret buying Resident Evil Regeneration instead of this now. Based on the award-winning novel Pontypool Changes Everything by Tony Burgess, this film treads similar zombie-related ground by having a virus that changes the inhabitants of a small town into homicidal maniacs. Okay, so far so good. But then there's a truly mind-twisting twist to this, as the infection in question isn't spread by a zombie bite, but by certain words in the English language becoming corrupted, including, but not excluding, terms of endearment. So, don't be phoning up your loved ones, because chances are you might end up using a word like honey, or sweetheart, or darling, and turning them into zombies as well. Don't! The thing about Pontypool is that because most of the drama takes place is audio rather than visual based, this would actually work as a radio play, or even as a stage show in a theatre. This could have been the first ever zombie-based stage show, if Evil Dead the musical hadn't got there first. This really is a game changer as far as zombie movies are concerned, as in, you hardly see the undead hordes at all. But you certainly hear them. Pontypool is a great example of how to do a horror movie when you're lacking in budget, but have bags of imagination. And it's a must-see.
Pontypool is a movie that you're going to have a job trying to sell to us. Even Dom and Mark had a bit of a job trying to sell the movie to us. The best way I can really say to describe Pontypool, you need to sit down and give it a go. Either you'll like it or you'll love it. It's kind of like the Marmite of zombie movies, if you like. But at the same time, it is trying something very different indeed. You might like it. Some guys here that liked it. I personally loved it. I thought it was brilliant. They were doing something different. It was a zombie virus that was spread by the language being spoken. It's different. All I can say about Pontypool is give it a go. You'll either like it, you'll either hate it, or you'll love it. Next up though, we're going to have something a little bit more different again. It's going to be some Japanese supernatural martial arts zombie flick, Versus.
Next up, from the Far East comes Versus, a Japanese supernatural martial arts zombie movie. So it covers quite a few genres then. And don't let the fact that it's got subtitles put you off, as the film is essentially one huge fight scene after another. Versus is full of those moments where you think, fucking hell, that kicked ass. As martial arts, lots of guns, lots of zombies, and bucket loads of blood and gore go flying across the screen. And yes, the zombies have guns as well. You don't tend to see the zombies shooting back at you, do you? Well, you do in this. A group of gangsters find themselves in the Forest of Resurrection, a place that acts as a portal between this world and the next. Here, they find themselves forced to contend with the men they have previously killed and buried in the forest, that are now becoming reanimated as gun-toting zombies. One of my favourite scenes in Versus is where the main bad guy is telling off one of his zombie lackeys for not stopping the main hero or kidnapping his girl. To get his point across, he punches his fist all the way through the zombie's head. And if that wasn't enough, when he pulls his hand back out, he has a good look at his handiwork. Maybe he lost a ring in there or something. Oh yeah, he also gets the zombie's eyeball stuck on his fingers. This is always a bit of a bugger when you're trying to punch cleanly through someone's head.
So we've just had Versus. What did we think of Versus?
I think I want my money back. Or at least that portion of it.
Well, I liked it, to be honest, because at the end of the day, Kung Fu movies and zombie movies were actually my first love before I discovered wanking and alcohol, so I can't really fault it at all. But next up, we're going to be having Dead Set, the full 2 hours and 20 minutes of it. Wish I brought a cushion now, to be honest.
Next up, Dead Set, the critically acclaimed BAFTA-nominated horror drama spawned from the dark imagination of Charlie Brooker. In a scenario borrowed from Dawn of the Dead, with the survivors living in a secure compound, the twist here is that the compound in question is the Big Brother house, with all the housemates blissfully unaware that the rest of the country is rather more concerned with the small matter of a mysterious zombie plague sweeping across Britain. And because this is the Big Brother house, the characters are mostly obnoxious, thunderously stupid or ignorant, extremely annoying and completely weird. Or usually a combination of one of those charming character traits. There is little or no real backstory for any of these characters, although some of them do appear to be based off real-life Big Brother contestants.
So what if there's a power cut, can you eat them frozen?
If there's a power cut, they'll defrost.
What, and you'll eat them cold and mushy?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Okay. Come on, hurry up.
The only characters that seem to have any depth to them are the main protagonist, Kelly, along with the foul-mouthed, ranting Big Brother producer, Patrick, who provided some much-needed comic relief along the way, as this does get very bleak and dark at times. Especially the ending, which I won't spoil for you. As a character, Patrick is far more than just a straightforward villain. He is a man who is only out for himself, whether it's doing whatever it takes to get the ratings, such as manipulating the housemates to stir up conflict, or doing whatever it takes to escape the zombies, such as using a man in a wheelchair as a barricade. He certainly isn't a hero, but in this world gone mad, he is able to adapt to the harsh realities of survival a lot better than anyone else. Dead Set doesn't hold back on the gore either, as throats are ripped out, intestines are chewed upon, and heads are smashed to a bloody pulp with fire extinguishers. Lovely stuff. But like any good zombie flick, there's plenty of social commentary in there amongst the blood and gore. Indeed, the sight of the Big Brother fans before they get turned into the undead is terrifying enough, with their screaming and yelling and waving of homemade signs like a lynch mob. They fail to realise that the situations and people they're getting mad at have all been engineered or created by the TV producers intentionally in order to invoke these reactions. In other words, they were a bunch of mindless zombies already.
They're dead.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Shut up!
This is not happening.
They're dead. You're right. Is this thing we're not on telly anymore?
Welcome back in part 2 for a bit of this.